I feel like being able to work with your spouse is the ultimate cheat code. Let's talk about it.
It is all mixed together, but also like finances, taxes, like it's just black and white.
We don't really see work as work.
Really prone to arguing.
I think that's why also raising kids has been easy because we just treat that like another thing that we do. It's teamwork. It's never been like, you do this is your job, you do this. It's, what do we have to do to get these kids through today?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's figure it out.
Not everybody works together, nor should they, because every couple is different.
Right.
Some people have their own careers and they each love their own career.
18 years. What is the most common question that people ask us?
Okay. It's how do you work together? No, it's how.
Let's talk about it.
Now, when we post this, we're going to post this one on this Super Bowl Sunday?
February 9th.
Okay. So, we're recording this ahead of time. Hopefully, by the time you see this, actually, we still won't know because we usually post them at 8 in the morning, right?
Yeah.
So
this
we still won't know.
Hours. This would be like
hours before the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, before the Super Bowl. All right. Well, hopefully.
So people are either going to watch it before the Super Bowl and be like, yeah, go Birds. Or they're going to watch it after and be like, oh, that's.
I don't care. Hey, maybe we should post it after the Super Bowl. Maybe post it on Monday. We'll figure it out.
We got to post it either way.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. But anyways, we're Eagles fans, so we had to do it up. Usually it's black, but whatever.
The exception.
Also, I have to say this too. I have TSA pre-check. Do you have it?
No, I still don't. Thank you for pointing that out. I just came to the realization, though.
Oh, boy.
We might be at Disney World when the Eagles are at Disney World. Or we could be.
They don't go right to the Super Bowl. I mean, right to Disney World right after.
It's like within a week or two.
I don't know about that.
We need to ask some friends.
Anyways, bro, hold on a second. First of all, how long have we been married? Do you know?
I always know.
Okay, how long?
18 years.
Okay.
Peyton Manning.
Don't ruin this whole podcast. Who's better, Peyton Manning or Tom Brady?
Peyton Manning.
You know that's a lie.
That's not a lie.
Yeah, it is.
It's my truth that I speak always.
Tom Brady has more Super Bowls.
Doesn't make someone greater.
Yeah, it does. So how is Peyton Manning greater than Tom Brady?
So do you think somebody who has more...
No. Answer my question. Don't try to do that. How is Peyton Manning greater than Tom Brady?
How is he greater? He just is.
No, you can't say he just is.
I feel that he is a greater quarterback.
No, he's how?
In his skill of studying, of watching the tapes.
Oh, man. If you're watching this, I'm not even...
His dedication.
Listen, I'm not even a Tom Brady fan like that.
His Indiana-ness.
I'm not even a Tom Brady fan like that. Listen, I'm not a Tom Brady fan like that, but I'm curious. If you watch this, who do you think is the better quarterback? Tom Brady or Peyton Manning?
Let me answer your question with a question. Is somebody who has more kids a better dad than you?
That doesn't even make sense.
How?
It just doesn't make sense. Just because you have more kids, that's completely different.
No.
That's completely... You don't have to do any work to make a kid.
But to keep a kid...
To win a Super Bowl, you have to do work. That is not even close to the same thing.
Okay.
Nice try.
Okay.
And yes, if someone has more kids than me and they raise them very well and they're like, man, those are good kids, they're obviously better because they've done it more times than I have.
No, I don't like that.
You're not going to say that because you know that I'm the best dad ever, and it's going to mess up your argument.
Why are you the best dad ever?
Huh?
Why are you better than the man who has 6 kids?
Tell me. Why am I?
No, this isn't about
Tell me. Why am I?
This isn't about me.
You're the one that turned it like that.
No.
Anyways, how long have you been married?
18 years.
Okay.
For now.
Not 12.
I'm just kidding.
Oh, hell. 18 years. What is the most common question that people ask us?
Okay. It's how do you work together? No, it's how do you do everything together?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I always say, how would we not? I don't understand. I'm like, wait, are you serious right now? And sometimes it's married people. Like, bro, do you not want to hang out with your person all the time?
Yeah.
And then I think, okay, let me just stop this because maybe they really don't, and I don't want to be like weird.
Right.
But bro, I like hanging out and doing stuff with you.
I do feel like it's different for us because we got married young. I was 19, you were 22.
Why are you telling all our business though?
Why does it matter?
Because I don't know.
Okay, we got married young.
Okay.
Fill in the blank.
You already said it now.
Okay. And we didn't, we started everything together. So we started our careers together, obviously a life together. We moved to a new, well, I was going to say a new state, but everything was just new for us. And so we have, people say they build their lives together. I'm like, we really have every single thing. And so it's not like, it can't be compared to some people who built their life, and then this person built their life, and then they bring those lives together and have to figure out what that new life is. So I think it's just like an unfair advantage. If somebody asks us, how do you do everything together? And we're like, we just do, you know, because we've always done that.
Yeah. And then
and for us, there's no other way.
Yeah. Some people are like, man, you guys must be really patient because I don't know how you guys do that. But listen.
Look.
First of all, you saw how we started this thing, which, let me tell you, we argue. We have some good fights, I feel like. But usually we fight about dumb stuff. Well, it's not dumb, but like
every team does.
We fight. And it's usually stuff like she'll forget to turn a mic on, or like I'll shoot something a certain way, or
I'm like, look, you know me and you know audio. You can't be mad if it doesn't do what it's supposed to be doing.
And like,
sorry, go ahead.
How we track stuff. Like I'm very like, I want to have everything tracked. And if she doesn't track something that I want to have tracked, I'm like, Heather, now how much? Because I have said this before, I don't feel like you can get better at things if you don't track them. Because you don't know if it's getting better or not.
Yeah. You just have a general idea.
Yeah. But we, for sure, it's not always, what do they say? Butterflies and rainbows? Puppies and rainbows?
I like all those things.
It's not all that, but like we choose to keep working at it, which I think is like the big thing. I love it. It's fun.
Yeah.
I keep saying it's fun, but like, is it fun or?
I concur.
What?
No, I just feel, I'm sorry. I feel like this is so different too because.
You just spit. Yeah,
I know. Y'all see that? I feel like it's so different too because I can't remember what I was going to say. I lost my train of thought when I spat.
Oh, I'll say this. There have been times where we've gotten to a point where we're like, and I've said this, I don't know if you want me to say it. I've said, should we hire someone else to do this? Like whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
And just to make it easier. And like one of us not do part of whatever it was that we were arguing about. And we figure out a way to make it work, but like it gets to a point where it's like.
And we mean it.
Yeah. But I think it's just like, because we're human, you know, and like, bro, sometimes you just piss me off, bro. And like, if you're married or like you have kids, there's no one who can piss you off more than the person that's closest to you.
Yeah.
Because they know exactly what to say to really just, oh. And I've never punched
what do you. Mean? No.
I've never punched you, but bro, there's been times where I'm like, oh, if you was a dude, I would just, oh.
Like, I need to leave right now. I need to leave right now.
I don't think, I've actually never thought I've gotten to the point to where I wanted to actually punch you, because I'm like, I don't think that way, but.
But you get that urge of like, oh. Yeah, like, and it ends there. But
I've never done that to you.
No, I mean that feeling of.
Oh yeah, yeah, oh yeah, on the inside. And the other thing, I don't ever want the girls to even think that I think that way.
Yeah.
Like, so anytime I say I'm going to punch them or you, they know it's a joke.
They haven't even gotten to that. They don't even do that to each other.
Yeah, they don't hit.
There's some times where I'm like, when are they going to get to that point? Mm-hmm. But we have been so like, use your words.
Yeah.
And they get to the point where they're so like frustrated, and I think that's just like teaching them teamwork, and they already know it because they do everything together. They're twins, so but like figure it out with your words. You know, I don't think I was ever. Well, I was pretty much an only child, and so I was never taught. I didn't learn until you're my first team.
I love that.
Yeah.
And I mean, they do get. There's been some times where like I just wish the other one would just punch the other one in the face, like because they'll do something that just deserves to get. Like, because when I was growing up, me and my siblings.
I was about to say you're the oldest sibling.
We fought like good.
So you have the most experience.
And so there are some times where one of them like they'll be doing something like that other one deserves to get hit, and if they do it, I probably won't get them in trouble.
Yeah,
I'll let it just happen because, bro. Yeah, but I also think back to us working together, communication has been a big thing.
Yeah.
Like being able to talk about stuff and sometimes knowing that, and I know I'm a jerk when I do it sometimes, but it's just because I don't want to say something I regret. I was like, listen, I got to leave or you got to leave because I don't want to talk about this anymore until we get let's chill out.
Well, I'm done talking now.
Yeah, let's chill out and then we can come back and talk about this later. But we don't do it in a way to where we don't ever talk about it because I feel like doing that make stuff build up, and it's like, remember when this happened 5 years ago? You know what I'm saying? Like, so we don't do that, but like sometimes when you get stuff is really heated, it's like, let's just take a time out and us both in a place where you feel like we can do that, which is cool. But sometimes you do it at dumb times just because you don't want to talk about it.
No, it's not that I don't want to. It's sometimes I really don't know how. I'm trying to figure out, how do I feel about this? How can I don't even know how to respond. And so it's not in a way of just being like, I don't feel like it. It's like, you're looking for an answer right now, and you're going to get really upset because I'm just a flat line right now.
And I hate that more than, when I'm ready to talk about stuff, I hate when you don't respond and communicate back. It's so frustrating. Anyways, okay. I guess it's good for us to get that out and talk about the fact that it's not always perfect, but communication is what helps a lot of times.
Yeah.
And I think that's what has made it to where we've done this for as long as we have. Because we really do everything together. We work out, raise the buttholes in there.
I also think it's good that, I don't know, I don't want to say that we really fight and argue. It is really more of a disagreement, you know, because to me, I'm like, here's fight, here's argue. Disagreement is just normal. You disagree with everybody at some point.
Yeah, you're right.
And I feel like that's the level we're on. And I think it's good that we let the girls see that, but not every time we have a disagreement. Because there are some things where I think they don't really need to, they just don't need to know.
Right.
But then I also feel like on the other side, it's good to show them that, I guess, how to argue, you know, that there is, like, you're going to do it, but there's a way through it. And the way through was through it. Because I had actually it was my youth pastor growing up. He and his wife said that they never argued.
That's weird to me.
Well, I believe it. And I remember her saying, because they didn't seem like they did. They had a good relationship. I mean, I was a teenager. And I really don't know because I wasn't inside their house. But it seemed like they really never did. And I remember them saying, our kids will never see us argue. We don't argue, but if we did, our kids wouldn't see us argue. And I remember thinking, oh, that's kind of a cool concept. But then as I got a little older, I thought, well, if you do argue, I feel like it's good to, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, you don't want to shield your kids from everything because when they do come upon whatever that thing is, they don't know how to handle it.
Right.
So I think it's good that we let them see how to do it.
And they see
because that's part of teamwork. But, you know, they don't have to see all of it.
Yeah. And they get to see how, like, okay, cool, we figure out what it is.
Yeah.
And they see us find a solution.
Right.
Which is cool. I think you're right, though. To me, I've been saying fight like we're actually like, it's not like you suck. Yeah, it's not like that. It is disagreements. And it's usually really dumb stuff. Like, I'm trying to think of the last thing that we really got in an argument about. I can't even remember. I know it had to be something dumb.
I don't know if it's dumb. Sometimes it's budget. I think last time was budget.
I was probably because I wanted to buy something that I was like, I want to get this.
No,
yeah, that's what that is.
And
what
I was
it
like, well,
that's
I thought we had a certain amount.
Yeah, you have to.
Yeah. And I didn't let you know that it wasn't that amount.
Yeah.
And so you were doing all this research on, okay, well, we're going to use the budget for this. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, we don't have the budget.
I was like, you said, yeah, I remember that. I was really bummed because, I remember that.
But
that's the kind of stuff.
We figured it out.
Yeah.
And it all worked out.
Fine. Yep. Yeah.
And
Anyway, so I just want to make sure that people are very clear on the fact that it is just disagreements. Because I know there's some people that like have to deal with actual fights.
Yeah.
And so I don't want to be disrespectful for the people that are actually going through real
I feel like
stuff.
We have literally said, I don't agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Therefore, disagreements.
And like working together is interesting because again, it's not always perfect, but the cool thing about it is we get to celebrate everything and we get to go through everything. So it's like if we're struggling with something like, oh man, we just lost this or we messed this up, we're dealing with that together. And it's not me coming home being like, oh, how was work? Oh, well, I had to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? And like you not understanding what I just had to go through.
Right.
We're both going through it. But the same thing about, oh, we just got this client. This is so, like we get to celebrate that, both of us. And I think that's why I say it's such a cheat code to be able to do stuff with your spouse.
And I feel like not everybody works together, nor should they, because every couple is different.
Right.
Some people have their own careers and they each love their own career. And so, and I know we're the exception, not the exception, but like we're the minority in that, and just working together. You know, most people don't work together.
Yeah. And
so I don't understand how people who do have separate lives and they come home and want to celebrate. I'm like, I know people are empaths, but I'm like, how do you understand unless you're talking about every single thing, I'm like, how do you find the time? Again, time, we talk about, priority, but I'm like, if you come home from work, by the time you get home, it's 6, you go to bed 10 or 11, 4 or 5 hours, that's dinner, getting the kid, just life things.
Yeah.
Do you sit down and be like, tell me about your day?
And I'm you don't have much time either.
I know people probably do that and make it a priority, but I'm like, it's just so natural for us to be like, yes, we got this client, or like we're gonna book this trip, we're going to this place, or just anything, it doesn't have to be work related, but yeah, I don't want to say I don't understand or feel sorry for those people.
No, it's like, but I get what you're saying. Like, I do feel like we're living a life that people want, when it comes to like finding someone to spend your life with and do what you love doing.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone wants that.
Yeah.
And I just get so geeked that we get to celebrate our wins, both of us. And I don't have to be, sometimes I don't tell you about all the little losses, but I mean, for the most part, about them. Sometimes I can see them coming before you do.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, okay, let me figure out how we're going to deal with this because it's going to happen. And
because I tend to overreact.
Yeah. Man. But I think it's just, I keep saying, I think it's dope that we get to celebrate and go through this stuff together. And even working out. I love that we work out together. We really do everything together. But like you said, I don't think it's for everyone. But luckily for us, it's been and I think that's why also raising kids has been easy because we just treat that like another thing that we do. It's teamwork. It's never been like, you do this is your job, you do this. It's, what do we have to do to get these kids through today?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let's figure it out.
I feel like that's just any team. It doesn't necessarily have to be marriage or business. It's everything. Yeah. This is the goal. What is the strategy? you're good at this today. Maybe tomorrow I'm good at that today. Like, let's just figure out. And again, it's not always.
Right.
It doesn't always work. Like, you got to pivot and everything. But I think that's just being a team, figuring it out. I love that we're in our Eagles gear.
Come on, bro. They better win. They better win.
I was about to ask you something. I can't remember.
Was it about the girls?
No.
Eagles.
Oh, we're talking about business and life. Like personal stuff. What would you say? Okay. We've been asked this before. What do you tell people? So, like, we'll let them know. When people are like, how do you separate personal, like, life stuff from business stuff?
That's always tough because we're again in a weird situation where the business that we're running is something we love. So it ends up being part of our life. You know what I'm saying? It's just like weaved in here. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that there's a perfect way to keep those things separate when you're working together. Especially like when you're working together, it's hard to separate those things. You know what I'm saying? Which I don't think there's anything wrong with. But if we are all of a sudden always talking about business and never anything else, that's a big thing. Like, why we haven't talked about anything non-business related. But I think we do have times where we'll say, hey, listen, all right, business is good. All right, this is fun, no work, you know, which I love. And I think, again, it's not, you said it earlier, every couple's different. And so I think that'd be different for everyone.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense, but like.
No, I think it also probably somehow depends on the career, like what they're in. Like, there may be something where they really do, like, they're done with their job, you know, as a couple or business partners. The job is done, move on, you know, until the next day or whenever it is. I think for us, the only thing, I don't want to say the only thing, but I guess the biggest thing where 100% of the time it's totally separate is just finances. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is a business expense.
Yeah.
This is personal. I think that's just like we show up to work with our jobs, you know, with our kids, and you know, it all merges.
Yeah.
So
even like as we go to see a movie, you know, we're watching that movie thinking, man, I love they shot this on this, or like I want to try that next time we shoot something.
Research and storytelling.
That's when I say like it's tough to separate is because, bro, I feel like everything we do is so, and maybe it's just being creatives, period. Like we don't really see work as work, if that makes sense. Because like I just love it. I love this stuff so much. It is work.
Yeah.
But you're gonna say you feel like
I wouldn't say work. It is a lot of time commitment.
Yeah.
That we enjoy.
Yeah. But it's work. No, it is work. Like we gotta work.
I don't know. I wish there was there probably is like another word other than work.
But it is work. We're actually doing work.
Well, I think people have given work like a bad, like, oh, work, you know.
I don't think so.
I don't know. Maybe that's why I'm using words like career and things like
I don't
that.
think so at all.
I don't know.
Did I answer that question though? How to separate?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I think
aside from finances, we don't.
Yeah, not really.
We don't
like,
really.
If you need to do that, like, well, I will say, like, speechless stuff when we're shooting people out here in the studio, it's so weird. Even when I shoot you out here, if I ever take pictures of you out in the studio, I end up treating you like you're...
Oh, yeah, you'd be like, can I move this hair? And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What do you mean? Can you touch me?
Yeah, I'm like, it's just something about this room that I'm like, I'm shut off to anything that, like, that's what, so, I mean, I don't know, that's one way I guess we separate work.
Yeah.
Because when I picture you in the house, it is what it is.
Yeah. Were you going to say something?
No.
Okay. So what if someone's asking, they're like, it's not really... They're like, how do you be around each other without arguing all the time?
Oh, we argue. We already said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
And
I also feel like some people are just, I don't know if it's a personality thing.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are just really prone to arguing, whether it's personal or business. And maybe that's something that I'm like, maybe like you need to figure out. I love how I asked you the question and now I'm answering it.
I feel like I do that all the time.
No, I know. You need to figure out why your art, like what is happening, what is the thing that's causing that, because someone may be like, man, I would love to work with my husband or my wife and we could do whatever that is career together, except we have this whole like argument thing and that would just wreck everything.
Bro, communication I feel like is everything. I feel like we're really good at talking about stuff. Even when it sucks, I really feel like we're good at it. I mean, sometimes I'm a jerk how I talk about some things, but luckily you are understanding when I am a jerk. You know what I'm saying?
I think that is just part of knowing your team member too, is understanding how they work. Like, I understand that, like, you will say exactly how you feel right then. Even maybe before you've had, like, you have done that before and then you've processed it and came back later and was like, you know, maybe I didn't respond the best way. I still feel the same way, but I shouldn't have said it, like, you know, stuff like that. And
also, I do, because the girls watch.
Yeah.
And it's not because of that. I'm like, sometimes that'll happen. I'll go to sleep and wake up and be like, that sucked.
Yeah.
And it's like the first thing I'm like, listen, that sucks.
Well, that's like the Bible, that Bible verse is like, let not the sun go down upon your wrath. There's something to that. But on the other side, on my side of things too, I had mentioned earlier, I like to process. But also,
I know.
Well, once I get past the flat line and can actually think, I like to figure out what I'm going to say before I just say whatever it is. And so I feel like sometimes that doesn't always work together, but we do find.
I don't know how.
Somehow we find that middle. I guess it's like the yin and yang effect or whatever that is. But sometimes I'm like, I should have responded sooner, even though I was just like, meh.
Because when you don't respond, I feel like you don't care.
No, it's not that at all.
No, but that's what happens.
I understand that.
When you don't respond, I'm like, you do not care about this. Because I'm just like, if it was something that you were very passionate about, like the Tom Brady thing we just now did, you had no problem having that conversation, jumping right into it.
But what was my answer?
I don't remember.
I honestly did not have a real answer. That's why.
But the thing is when you don't respond to it, I feel like, okay, she doesn't care.
Yeah.
And I'm just but I think after being as married as long as we have, I'm like, it's not that
being as married as we are.
You know what I meant? Being married for as long as we have been, I've just learned that sometimes you really just don't really know what to say.
Yeah.
And it just pisses me off. 'Cause I'm like, how do you not know what to say?
Yeah. I hear that.
Anyways, I had a question for you, I think.
It's a random fuzz.
What if someone's asking, don't you get tired of being around each other all the time?
Like, I'm like, us? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
But I'm like, maybe you do. And that's okay if you do.
Yeah.
I'm like, then you need to schedule time for yourself or just know that, okay, well, we're going to take a break at this time to go do our whatever things that you want to do. And then we're going to come back. We're going to reconvene. I mean,
yeah,
they have coffee breaks and this is like 90s, but like cigarette breaks back in the day. So like take a break for whatever you need to do.
I still think that's so weird. I just cannot relate to that because I don't get tired of you. Unless we're going through one of our little issues like Tom Brady or Peyton Manning thing. Like it's one of those little things where I'm like, okay, I just need to be away from you right now. But for the most part, I really don't get tired of you. Yeah. That's why I can't relate to people that like are talking about, oh man, I finally got away from the ball and chain. Like what?
Oh, I know. And that's what watching like some sitcoms, especially older sitcoms. Yeah. Like right now we're watching Everybody Loves Raymond.
Bro, that show's funny. I've never watched the whole thing.
No, I know. I haven't either. Mm-hmm. I feel like I've seen most of it as we watched through, but most of them, or they all love each other, you know, but it's just the way they talk about their spouse or even talk down to them. I'm like, oh, I would never. Yeah. And not because I'm like, oh, submissive what? You know, not that. No. I just mean like both ways. We're not, there's a lot of disrespect, even though it's supposed to, it's just cute, you know. I'm like, I would never, you know, I don't know. I think I'm...
Some of the stuff they say to each other, I'm like, man.
Well, even how they let their kids talk to them, I'm like...
Hell no, I wish these kids would.
We have different dynamics.
Right. When it comes down to it, I think working together it's different for everyone. I do think I think what you said about us getting married early, that's how we built everything. It's like, and I told you when we first got married, I said, hey, I'm not going to read your mind.
Yeah.
If you have something to say it so we can deal with it and move on. Because I don't play those games. Like, I hate when I hear people talk about that. Like, oh, I think she might be mad about this or this, like in the barbershop. I'm like, bro, why don't you guys just talk about what it is?
Did you ask her?
Yes.
Actually, no, I'd be quiet in the barbershop. I'd be like...
Still, like, she should say, too, like, this is what's bothering me right then. You know what I'm saying? Like, because then...
Usually when I start my conversation, I'm like, so... And you'll be like, just say it.
I know.
Stop.
Like, don't do that. I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to start doing this to you. Like, we need to talk. Later.
No.
I got to process it.
No, there's that meme. I needed to save it. I see it all the time. I need to save it where it's like, them, hey, we need to talk. Me, tell me or I'm going to throw up. I'm like, that's me. Don't do that to me. Just keep it yourself or tell me right now.
But back to all this, I think that we've been very intentional on making it to where working together is fun and easy. You know, I think if you're going to do that, it requires you to be intentional in everything.
Communication. Yeah. Well, yeah, everything.
Yeah. And I was thinking about it. You do get a break because every weekend, you and the girls have a little slumber party out in the living room, and I get the whole bed to myself.
Yeah. So you get a break too.
Yeah. So it's not a break, but like, it's kind of annoying sometimes. I'm like, this sucks being here by myself.
And then you're like, but I can stretch.
Yeah. We have a king size bed, bro. It's so nice. But sometimes I'm like, I'm going to sneak out there and lay with them. But
that would be a fun, like they would love that. Right. If they didn't know, woke up and like, Daddy's here too.
I do. And I do think, I was saying earlier how we put work and stuff together so much. I do think, though, we do sometimes turn work mode off.
Yeah.
And I've also told our girls, whenever we're working or whatever, if they ever feel like we're doing too much work, they can always say, Daddy, I feel like you guys are working a lot. And I think we need to and they have done it. And they understand that, hey, if you want to do these fun things and do the stuff that you've been able to do, we have to work to do it.
Yeah.
And they've been very good at being cool when we have to work. And we're upfront with them like, hey, listen, this is going to be a week of us having to work really hard in order to get whatever. Like, we include them in stuff. And then whenever they feel like, hey, and they'll say, or even I'm doing something on my phone, like, hey, Daddy. And this is what I told them. I said, if you want me to really pay attention to you, don't overuse this. Just be like, hey, Daddy, is what is on your phone, is it more important than me right now? I said, if you say that, I guarantee you I'll put my phone down. And
that goes back to our priority thing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like that podcast we did where it's just changing it to be like, is that a bigger priority than
Yes. Man.
Yeah.
And they use it. And they know how to use it.
Yeah, they don't overuse it.
Yeah.
Every time I have heard them say that to you, it has been, I don't know why. Most of the time I'll be in the other room doing something and I'll hear it and I'll be like, that was actually the perfect timing.
Yeah. And I feel like the cool thing about us, I feel like if you're going to work together, your roles need to make sure they match. Like, compliment. Yeah, compliment each other. Because I don't have patience for dumb people. And like, I feel like
the statement in itself.
I just don't have patience for it. I'm aware of it, and I'm trying to. God is always working on me, but He hasn't got to that part yet. I don't think. But
it's not Heather, a priority.
It's not a priority to Him right now. But you're really good at working with dumb people. That sounds weird.
Wow, thanks.
No, but I'm like, you're patient, and so someone will email us, or like messages us, and it'll be the dumbest thing. And I won't see it yet, but Heather will come at me and say it in a way to where I don't have to hear it in a dumb way.
It's just a real quick, like even a sentence.
Yeah. Like,
so this person said like they want this.
And yeah. And she'll say it in a good way. And like, I think we should do it. I'm like, okay, cool. But then I'll go back and read it. I'm like, hold on a second. This was dumb.
I'm trying to hurry up and reply like, permanent. No, I'm just kidding.
I was like, but then sometimes I'll just reply and she's like, did you really send that? Like, yep, I sent it.
That hasn't happened for a long time.
I know it hasn't.
But
because that's one of the things I've just learned that I'm not good at doing that. And what I'll do, I'll send, if we get something I have to address things, I'll send Heather what I want to say. She'll fix it in a nice way and send it.
Yeah.
So that's a way we really complement each other, I feel like. And also you're very timid, and I feel like, and so I love when I get to be the guy that's like, hold on, wait a second, and I get to go in and fix whatever, you know, that you don't want to deal with.
The fixer.
Yeah. I like that kind of stuff. But I feel like we complement each other.
Yeah.
Which I think is
it's good to, obviously we know each other in those ways, but I feel like for other couples, or even like, it doesn't even have to be a couple. Like we're a couple so we keep saying that, but it could be just two people, two friends who want to work together. I feel like you need to understand your dynamics before going into a business. You know, you need to know, oh, this person, you know, this is what they're strong at or weak at. And so you know who's doing what role, you know, and then lay it out. Make sure that you communicate. You're doing this, I'm doing that. Which I feel like everyone should know that.
Yeah.
But they don't.
Right.
If you need to go in and write out a business plan or, you know, do all these things.
Make sure you're on the same page.
Make sure it is literally on paper.
I remember someone had asked us how we set up to where the stress from work stuff doesn't mess with our marriage stuff.
I
don't really feel like we get super stressed over work stuff.
Yeah. I feel like that's that work mode switch that we have. I don't think it's built in. I think it's over time. It's like a callus where, I mean, I'm not going to say nothing catches me off guard anymore, because it does. But I feel like it's like it just happens. Like the more it happens, the more you, I don't want to say expect it, but you know how you're going to react, you know? So I feel like if something is stressing you out, again, we like to just address things. So if whatever that problem is stressing us out, okay, what do we need to do to address that? Like, is it another person or whatever it may be? Let's try to, you know.
Come with a plan.
Right. And then if we've done all we could do, just shelf it until that person responds or, you know, I don't know what.
Yeah. When you do all you can do, you've done all you can do. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I feel like stressing about it after that, it's out of your hands. Right. You know?
Right. And I'm not, you know, we're not perfect. I'm not saying.
Hell no.
I can actually shut off my mind to where it's just like Severance. Where, you know, you leave work and you know nothing.
Yeah.
That doesn't give anything away, by the way.
I can't remember the last disagreement we had, but if someone's asking how they handle disagreements in work and not take it personal.
Do you mean a disagreement between us or between?
Let's say we had a disagreement, something work related. How do we not take that personal?
Well, I like to think business is personal. You know what I mean? Like there's a separation, but then there's not. Because if you're passionate about your business, passion is a personal thing. And so, I don't know. Ask me the question again, please.
How do you handle if there's a disagreement that is business related?
How do you not take it
personally?
Okay. I feel like it's similar to my other answer where if we have to spend more time on a Tuesday evening going over our disagreement to figure out how we need to come out of it, then we're going to do it. So most of the time, there is no, okay, now let's shift over to personal mode and then have these weird feelings about business. I don't think that's ever happened to us.
Well, I'm thinking of the whole budget thing, how I wanted to get something before.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, we don't have the budget for it. I'm like, she's being a jerk and just doesn't want me to get this. We definitely have the budget for it. But then we had a conversation like, oh, okay, it really isn't a personal thing. But it pissed me off. But I didn't take it personal. I really believe that, okay, whatever. It's a budget thing.
I wasn't in there like moving numbers around like, he's not buying something today. Especially if it's for business.
Yeah, man. What if someone thinks one of us is way more business-minded than the other person?
Way more business-minded?
Yeah. Like if you're in a relationship and one person is really business-minded and the other one isn't, like how can they even make that work?
I actually think that is our case.
Why do you say that?
Well, I feel like business-minded, when I hear that term, it sounds like strategy to me. So I feel like we know that a strategy is, you've done personality tests. Most of them, strategy is one of the things, if not the top thing listed for you. So when I hear business-minded, that equals strategy to me. And I feel like I said, that is you. And that doesn't mean that I'm not business-minded. I just feel like when you see a problem or not even a problem, let's be positive, you have a goal, your mind just it does all, like the Matrix. It does all these Matrix things. You start saying, okay, I want to do this and this and this and this. I just feel like that's how you work. I don't. I feel like you're more proactive in business and I'm a little more reactive. Not that I'm never proactive, you're never reactive, but I feel like it's possible. I feel like I don't see any problem there. Again, like we were talking about earlier, know what your strengths are, know what your weaknesses are. I mean, just because I'm not strategy or business minded doesn't mean that's a weakness for me. That means most of the time you have that part covered. So
that's dope.
I can work on the reactive side of those emails that I don't want you responding to.
That's a really good answer. I didn't expect that. I was like, yeah, that's a really good answer.
I have some ideas.
Okay, here we go.
That's funny, Leo. Got some ideas.
Let's talk about, as we're wrapping up, lessons we've learned.
Okay.
About each other, just working together. And the first one, I'll go first. I didn't realize how, not analytical, I don't think that's the word, but how you have to have step-by-step instructions for stuff. That is just so weird to me.
Yeah.
Because, I'm just like, okay, we need to get this done, and let's go do it. It's like when we get...
That is so weird to me. But I also, it's admirable. I'm like, I don't know if you can't, I don't want to say you can't. It is unlikely that you can study to just become that. It is a God-given, you are wired that way to see something and be like, and one of them, I'm not going to say any names, one of them.
I'd see it.
Is like that. One of our daughters.
I just didn't realize that because I remember our first few big arguments, it was because of that. And once we figured that out, because I would just be like, okay, cool, we need to do this. I'm thinking, okay, cool, she'll handle it. And you're still on step 1 or 2. I'm like, what's happening?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, when I say we need to do this, I need to say, okay, here are the steps we need to take to get from here to here.
And you know why? It's because I get confused very easily. So if I'm on, and I'm not saying that I can't ever adjust, because there are times when you just don't have the time. You just have to do it. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to fumble through this, but at least he's over there.
I feel like that's a confidence thing because I I hope you can remember what you're about to say, but I know that there's a possibility of me messing up so many times, and there's so many times that I do mess up. I just carry it. I'm like, okay, well, as long as you do it confidently, you know what I'm saying, and no one knows that you messed up.
So I think that is a personality thing for sure. I agree with that. Talking about the steps, I'm like, okay, let me see. Let's just say, I don't know why. Let's just say we're putting bricks. We're building a wall here. Okay, so brick here. Okay, let me go and read, not the manual, but let me just Google how bricks are made so I can understand how a structure actually stands together. Meanwhile, you're on brick 3, like, okay, there's 6 more bricks. Let me, you know? And you understand me now, but I feel like for other people who are like-minded, like strategy, business-minded, I can't remember where I was going with that.
Like-minded people, you're talking about the bricks.
Oh yeah, they could look at someone like me who works like me and think, this person, that is slow. I am slow.
No, you're not. That's the thing. I want to make sure you know you're not slow.
I'm slow on purpose because I want to make sure I understand the steps in something. So the next time I do it, over time, it becomes less and less because it cuts down my ability to make mistakes. I don't like making mistakes because personality-wise, it makes me feel so awkward and anxious. And so if I can understand something, it cuts down on that. So I feel like you understand that about me, like the step by step. I understand that you're like, if I mess up, I mess up.
It is what
Again,
it is.
that's right along, that's parallel with worst thing they could say is no. So it's just, I love that you can just be like, it's fine. Like we'll make it work. And on the other side, I'm like, okay, but let me understand this. So then if you ever get to the point where you're like, all right, I'm on brick 8 and I don't really understand how to get to brick 9. And I'm like, well, if you understand the structure of a brick, that can help you get to brick.
That's actually so true. That's so true, bro.
Yeah. So
good.
We're building a brick wall for some reason.
What do you think's been the biggest challenge for us working together?
The biggest challenge? Understanding just how I explained how we work together. I think the biggest challenge was the time it took to understand how each other works. Because you have to do that, like it's linear. It's not like you just can't skip to the end.
Yeah.
You have to work through that in a timeline.
Yeah.
And that same timeline, it's in real time. It's all in real time. You're trying to still run a business and life and family and do all this stuff. And at the same time, you're trying to understand how this other person works. You have to do it all at once. So it's just crazy spinning swirl going down a line. I think that has been the biggest challenge in that it's just time consuming.
I feel like this is way probably off what the original question was for. But when Mom died, I think that was a very huge challenge because, I like to be doing stuff. And I just felt like after she died, I was like, bro, what is happening?
What is life?
Yeah. Because it really was eye-opening. Like, life is so short. And I feel like you ended up doing a lot of the stuff then because and then you had to do it by your way of list, you know what I'm saying? Like, we made it and everything worked out. But I just went through a time where I was like, I just would do the bare minimum of whatever, you know what I'm saying? So that was a tough, I think.
I feel like in grief, we know that everybody reacts differently. Some people just dive into work and just numb over, head down work. So I guess in that being said,
wait, did I do that though? Maybe I did do that.
No,
but I didn't think I think I did.
Like it was it.
But I didn't do work in our business because remember that's when we built those shelves.
Yeah,
we did a ton of I was just trying to that was a good point.
Yeah, it was different. I can't even remember when and how long, like these process. I just knew that because I've lost someone before, and I know like things are a process. It's all different. Yeah. So with that being said, what would you say to somebody who, like, how do you not let work take over your personal life? Well, like for us, like I know we say like it's all kind of together, but how would someone else? How would they make sure it doesn't just completely take over their life?
It's hard for me to answer just because of where we're at.
Yeah.
Like,
and you don't know the person either. I guess it would vary by person.
Yeah, but like if you go into working for yourself, more than likely you're going to work doing something you like doing.
Yeah.
And just especially, hopefully it's something you're really passionate about. So it is going to take over your life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that's what I said earlier when I'm like, work, our business is personal.
And we love creating content. We love strategy. So we're doing all that stuff and we're doing it in a way that where our family's included. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like our girls now know how to set up tripods. They ask to get editing apps on their iPhone.
Which I love.
Their iPads.
I kind of think they forgot about that, by the way. We need to come back to it.
I'm kind of glad because, bro, they were asking me how to do all this stuff. And I was like,
and they keep out their iPads like, I'm out of space, delete stuff. And I'm like, you delete stuff.
But I think if you're worried about that, I mean, just make it very clear that you're worried about that with whoever you're working with. It's like, listen, I don't want this taking over all our personal stuff. Set boundaries. Like, listen, at this time, let's be done talking about this.
Yeah.
And
whether that's marriage or friendship. Again, you don't have to be married. You could be friends or
But
whatever.
For us, we love it all so much that like we can go, and the thing is, we will go from one thing to the next. So like it'll be personal work, like we can do that.
Yeah.
And we find ways to relate whatever's work that's happening to personal stuff. So I kind of think I took the easy, lazy way out of that question.
No.
But that's just where I'm at on it.
I just feel like like I said earlier, it's like, it is all mixed together, but also like finances, taxes, it's just black and white.
Yeah.
But everything else, it's, So then for us, well, it's different for us because we've been doing it for so long. But if somebody asked you, what is one thing, because they want to know, because they're about to work with their friend or partner or whomever, what is one thing you wish you knew before you decided to work together?
Bro, I think it's so important.
You were ready for that.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good one. And I think we've done it, is know what the other person's good at and know what you're not good at and be okay with it. Because I'm finally okay
with it,
I suck at spelling, grammar, and I understand that.
You've gotten so much better through the years, though.
But the thing is, in our Slack channel, you will see me. If you ever saw our channel, I send Heather whatever I'm trying to send someone first. And she'll go through, fix it, and then I'll copy it and send it. I suck at that. And I used to think, man, I'm just stupid because I can't do this stuff. I was like, I really feel like I'm just lazy when it comes to that stuff. I don't even try to type this stuff right. I do try. It was like,
I don't know if it's lazy. I feel like that goes back to the wall, the brick building, where I'm like, the reason I understand spelling and grammar so much, and I actually enjoy it, is because like in school, I really studied and took the time to understand all of it. And so, like, I want to know every single letter that builds a word.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it just sticks in my mind.
But I do wish, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying I would do, the question was, is there something I wish I knew beforehand? Yeah, just how important that was, is getting on the same page of, here's what you're good at, here's what I'm good at, let's kill this. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's what makes us so dope, is there's just some stuff you're really good at and I suck at. Like, you're very patient with people. And even at the gym sometimes, like, we know certain people will come up and talk to us, and I know I can talk to people for so long, but then I'm going to leave and you can talk to them. Or you'll be
like...
Yeah, and you'll talk. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love that about us. Or a situation where you don't feel like talking to people or you don't know someone's name. You do that a lot.
I do.
Where you don't know someone's name. Bro, I'm really good at doing interviews and getting testimonials because I know how to ask people questions to get them to say or give me the answers I want them to give me. And I can get someone's name easy, even if I should know their name, in a way that doesn't make them feel whatever. And like, you suck at that. I don't know why.
If we both know that I am very rarely, except once or twice, the interviewer.
Oh yeah.
You'd have to be like sick, lost your voice.
Yeah.
And then I'd be like, sure, I can do it.
Yeah. But as of right now, if we had to go to any shoot, I don't doubt that you could go in a shoot and make it all happen.
Yeah.
By yourself. And I know I could go in a shoot and make it all happen. And
that's what's dope. Whatever we needed to do, we could pick up for the other person. Yeah. Like individually, I could go in, I could do an entire shoot. I could set every single thing up. Doesn't mean I want to, but I know that I could if I had to. And I think, and same for you, obviously. And I think as long as we know the dynamics, we understand
the moving parts,
The what?
The different moving parts.
I said the booby parts.
The hell?
The moving parts, yes. As long as you know all that, that is what makes it work. That is what is so rewarding about something like this.
I think the big thing out of all this, though, is this works for us. And if you're listening to this and you're a married couple and you're like, man, I wish we could... Listen, it's not all the same.
This is not the blueprint.
Trust me, every single person is different. This is just what has worked for us. And I do feel like if you can find a way to work with your spouse, it is the most rewarding, the biggest cheat code in life, because you're both working together towards something.
I love that cheat code.
Man, I've been saying, I post stories all the time. Like, man, and you don't even know, because it'll be like, I will take a picture of you from far away and you wouldn't want me to post it or know that I posted it, but I do.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Like,
bro, I love working out with my spouse.
Our friends at the gym will be like, well, the girls, not the guys, but they'll be like, I saw your husband post this. And I was like, what?
But yeah, I think it's a huge cheat code to be able to work for your spouse. If you can figure that out, do it. But it's not for everybody. So don't feel like if it doesn't work for you, it may be weird. It may just be weird that...
No, I don't think we are. We work well because we work well and because we are intentional about it. Yeah. We want to work together well, and so we do. And I was like repeating what you were saying, but I had a point. I was trying to lead on to something. But I was actually going to tell you people or let you know if you have questions. Again, we are not the blueprint, but people ask us all the time, how do you do this? How do you handle that? Yeah. If you have questions,
definitely
please DM us.
Yeah. Hit us up.
Or email us. I'm like, we all know if it's email, who's going to respond?
But the thing is, understand this. If you hit us up, we're going to tell you what works for us and what we would do in the situation. I'm not going to say, here's what you have to do, because we don't know the answers to everything.
Here's this is just how we do it.
And then I think we just wrap it up by saying, go Birds. And hopefully, I hope that when you guys are watching this, the Eagles are the Super Bowl champs.
Yes. And then we see them at Disney World.
All right.